Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Today is the 150th episode of Hermitcraft. That is a lot of episodes right there, 150, that's a real landmark, and of course not all of them have been on this map. Some of them were on the previous map and the very first map, which I think we lost after like one or two episodes that I put out. But anyway, 150 episodes. I should have something special in store, but unfortunately I don't. It kind of crept up on me, I wasn't really paying attention. And then I realised, oh hang on, I'm about to record the 150th episode and I have nothing special in store. So sorry about that, we're just going to continue with things as normal. So in the last episode, we got this book and I was a little bit silly. I mean look, it even says there, Cilantro Gamer. And I think I was just so shocked at like all my quartz being gone and being pranked that I wasn't really thinking straight. And I certainly wasn't looking for clues. But I did ask for you guys to give me some help in the comments and all of that, and loads of you were really helpful actually. Lots of people told me exactly what to do, so I'm just going to point it out for those of you that didn't see it. I certainly didn't see it myself, I was not looking for clues. I was just kind of shocked, as I said. So right here it says this took some time to coordinate, so that's a keyword right there. But 105, so I thought that was 100%. Obviously it's not. I guarantee you that you will cry like a little baby. And then here it says, don't be so negative, stay positive and you might just see your precious minerals. So positive, 105, coordinate, they were the clues right there. Loads of you got that actually, there's lots of comments about that, so well done. It totally went past me. Even the fact that it says Cilantro Gamer right there, somehow I managed to miss that. So we know who the quartz snapper is. Now we have to go over to that location and find out what exactly has happened to our quartz. Now there's one more thing that I want to do before we go, and I don't think I had the pick here. No. Where is my fortune pick? This is worrying. Oh dear, I think I've lost it. Okay, well I was about to do something else involving diamonds, but never mind, I'll save that for another time because I don't have my fortune pick. I've got a feeling I might have taken it to the nether base with me and just not realised and left it over there, so I'm going to have to make a trip back over there soon. And let's figure out what direction we're going to head in. I'm actually going to walk this. Let's look at what's in my inventory. Yep, I've got plenty of things to do this. Maybe a little bit more food would be a good idea, although I'm pretty sure it'll be alright. So, right, we want to go in positive in both directions, so it's that way. And not that way, but that way. So obviously I'm not there yet, I'm still in the town. It just occurred to me something else I wanted to talk about quickly. The wither farm, and I've got rid of F3, I need to know. Okay, so it's more that direction than that direction, that's fine for now. The wither farm, I asked for some feedback and help, and at the moment there'll probably still be a few more comments coming through on the video. A few people did try to help out with that, but unfortunately I haven't found a solution yet. So at the moment the whole wither project's kind of on hold. I don't think there's a lot of flexibility for what you can do is the main problem. And look at this, the chunks aren't loading. This always happens when you record, not when you're not recording. But yeah, so the wither thing's kind of on hold at the moment, so I don't know what's going to happen with that, but hopefully I'll be able to, you know, figure something out sooner or later. Okay, what is that over there? That is some sort of pillar, and this is roughly around the right spot. I think it's going to be exactly 1005. Please don't be a treasure hunt. I do not want to go walking around for ages. Okay, no, this is Topmas has left a sign there for some reason, so maybe that means I have to go back and visit his house. If we actually look at the coordinates here, I've gone over this way a little bit too much, and this little block with a torch on top. What is this? This isn't it. Am I? Okay, here we go. Dig. Okay, so rule number 1 when digging directly down is stand on 2 blocks like this. And it would appear that maybe there was a trap there for me. I think there was actually, and I've avoided that. Let's see what happens. We could actually have a little look over the edge here, so let's go down a little bit lower. Okay, so it looks like I think I was supposed to fall to my death there. Oh no, I just removed the sign, didn't I? So something that I've removed, and then it says your nose the whole time, quartz snapper. I reckon it was underneath your nose the whole time. So actually my quartz is probably still in my base. However, the sand goes all the way down there. Let's see where this goes. I don't know. So this just takes me back to the surface. Okay, so I think Sil dug down and then made himself a little ladder to get back up. And there's a creeper. How you doing? I haven't got my bow, so I can't shoot you. It looks like you're going to be okay for today. A ravine, no surprise there. I went caving again recently. I had so much luck with diamonds. The first block I started to remove when I started strip mining diamonds. Then I found a few more a little bit further in, and then went into a big cave, found 2 other sets of diamonds, and it just went on and on basically. I found a lot of diamonds, got really lucky, which is pretty cool. But again, went caving for like a couple of hours and I must have found at least 10 ravines. There are so many on this map, it is crazy. If you want to just check it out, you know, get the seed, it is on the Hermitcraft Reddit, it's listed on there. Then you can just, you know, load that up in a creative world and have a look around. The caves and the amount of ravines on this map are crazy. And in the new update of Minecraft, there's going to be new biomes as well, so it'd be interesting to see how our seed favours us on that, because of course all the terrain generation will then change, and we have no idea if this is still going to be a lucky seed, which is what I call it. Okay, so I'm about to go and look underneath the base. However, I remember seeing a couple of comments saying that I should look at my other house, which is over here. Apparently something has been done to that. But this... oh, there's not actually a basement down here, is there? There we go. Yeah, this looks to be just the way I left it. Anything out the back? Just sheep as normal. Okay, let's go inside the house and have a look. Aha! What's this? Your house, your nose even. My nose is right there. And here's my quartz. Ah, it was here all along. Oh, and a block of diamond. Is that my own, or is he giving me a present? I have no idea. Well, there we go. We got the quartz back. So now I'm going to spend some time carrying it back over to my base. Whoa, watch out, buddy. Let's take care of this guy. Did you see that just off in the distance there? Spawned on the top, fell down and hurt himself. Just looking out for that. So, for those of you who don't know who Cilantro Gamer is, he is a live streamer over on twitch.tv/CilantroGamer. So he doesn't primarily do YouTube videos. However, if you remember this area over here, it's where I tried to build the Asian building before we went and found that little island to build it on with Corrales. So this area just wasn't being used, and Cilantro moved in to build himself a nice little home. And you can see here he's gone for like a mound. It kind of reminds me of like a hobbit home or something like that, but the inside of this is wonderful. It looks good on the outside as well, but inside it's just really cozy. He uses tons of different things in the game to decorate this, so I thought I'd show you. Obviously these are supposed to be coat hangers, I think. It could be something else. But if we go in here, cozy is the feeling that I get right here. This is wonderful. The ceiling looks awesome. They are daylight sensors, by the way. I'm pretty sure they're the bottom side of daylight sensors, because you get a different texture there that you don't really see anywhere else. Must remember to use that, that's pretty cool. But over here you got like this little swamp, which is pretty cool, inside the base, and then up here you got a bookshelf and somewhere to sit. And the whole of this is just really cozy, and look at that, the ceiling is made out of trapdoors there. Yeah, just lots of things going on, and the use of the mushroom blocks as well is pretty cool. Lots of stained clay, little fireplace for cake. It's really nice, I do like it very much. So if we go through here, there's a bed, and then this is a back door out to this. This wasn't here last time I came and had a look. And if we go back in, there is another little room around on this side as well, which is pretty cool. It's a nice floor. Actually, those materials go together quite well, don't they? And that looks really nice, the way the green goes down and across onto the trapdoors. I guess that one is placed on... yeah, it must be placed on the side of the stair block, but it, yeah, looks like it's floating. That's cool. Nice ceiling as well. And these have all been turned upside down, I think. I don't know. But yeah, just tons of detail. I really like what he does with his base here. And then out the back here, you've got a nice Little table and chairs with a little brown carpet on top of the table as well. It's really cool. Anyway, what are we going to be doing this episode now that I've given you a little tour there? We are going to be building a tree farm, but actually there's one more thing I wanted to show you before we go over there. Let's just throw an ender pearl over the back here. Well, what is this right here, and where are we? We're behind Joe Hills' place. Actually, he's done a really nice job of this lately. He's made a little community wall area up there that's really cool. I might show you a little bit of that. I'm not sure. I might edit in something at the end of this episode. But anyway, I showed Joe this game that you can play in Minecraft. Now, a lot of you in Britain, I think, will know this, but maybe not in America. It's called the Squares game. You have a load of dots like this, and you have to draw lines between them, and then make a box. And then when you've made a box, you can put down. Let's grab that. You can claim that box as yours, and then that counts as a point in the game. So I showed Joe this game, and then he came up here and made an arena, which he's done a fantastic job of, because he's considered so many things here that make this really great to play the game. Now, you can see the redstone is off at the moment, but these blocks right here are powered, so whenever you place down a piece of redstone when it's your go, it lights it up, and that really helps play the game as well. And then the other thing he's done here, we've got glass, and then there's fire underneath, so this place is always lit, and you put down carpets on top which allow the light to go through, so it's a really intelligent design here for the whole thing. But anyway, he invited us over to play it. I was with Topmas and Zombie Cleo as well, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to put it into my episode because those guys are putting out videos on it as well. So if you want to see that, there'll be a link in the description box. You know how it works. If you want to watch some more Hermitcraft. But anyway, after playing this, we decided that we thought this arena was a little bit too small for playing with 4 players, and I can see Joe started some work on a bigger arena over there, but I won't show you that. Anyway, this episode, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be working on the tree farm, and I've been designing it in a creative mode. It's going to be a lot of work. It's really big and over the top, but I kind of wanted to do that for a long time, so we're going to do it on the Hermitcraft server. It's going to be very useful. Now, a lot of people in the comments, when I mentioned that I wanted to do a tree farm, were saying, you know, someone else has already built a tree farm, and why do you need to do that? It's really just about the project. I know other people have built tree farms, but they're not the kind of one that I like to use, so I'll explain everything about the design in a moment. Anyway, this is Joe Hills' wall area. This is just lovely in here. And there's actually sheep up the top. I didn't notice them at first. It's very cool. And there's also fence posts under the carpets, so when you walk on it, you kind of get elevated a little bit, which is cool. So this is the tree farm design right here. This is pretty excessive, as you can see. This is roughly about the same size as the area that I've cleared out on the server to build this in. And it's pretty crazy, the size and scale of it. But now that I've come back to it after a few days, I've actually noticed there's a few things that I don't think are actually necessary anymore, which is a good thing because it allows me to change 1 or 2 things. But first of all, let's talk about this design right here. Now, the type of tree farm that I like is one where you plant down your saplings, you let the trees grow naturally. So you plant all of these down. Some of them will grow naturally over time, and then when you come back to it at another date, there's loads of trees ready to be chopped down. So then what you do is you go along, chop them all down one by one, and then all of the saplings are going to start, sorry, the leaves are going to start decaying and dropping saplings. So at that point you can then turn on the water after you're done chopping down all of the trees, and any saplings that there are, they're going to fall into the water stream and go into the hoppers, like that one there and that one there. So it's a pretty good way of doing this, I guess. I know there's other designs as well, like King Happy's farm that eats trees. You know, you spam bone meal at it and it takes all of the logs away. But this is just the way I've always liked doing it, and I wanted to step it up compared to my old design, automate it a little bit more, take advantage of the hoppers, because previously you used to drop the water into a water stream which will come all the way down, and then you'd have to stand at the end and collect the drops, but now they're all going to go automatically into a chest. Now we're using ice as well. That's kind of over the top again, because that's just going to push the items over to the hoppers quicker. However, you know, if an item's going to decay and fall into the water and then get pushed over into a hopper, that is not going to take probably more than 30 seconds. I mean, 30 seconds would probably be a little bit extreme, so they do spawn after 5 minutes items, so there's no real need to use ice to move the items quicker. However, I think it gives this place a cool look, so we're going to go ahead and use ice. Now the other thing, we have glowstone at the top, so this is to cap the growth of the trees to stop them growing any higher. Now when I designed this, you've got these pop out blocks like that, and originally you're supposed to grow the tree on here. So at the moment the glowstone provides enough light that mobs won't be able to spawn on this. So if it's nighttime and you leave it in this mode where the trees are growing, so what you'd normally have is the blocks popped up like this, then mobs wouldn't be able to spawn, so you don't have to worry about that in your farm. Now something else I've just considered is that mobs probably can spawn on the top of these dispensers, so we might need extra pieces of glowstone up the top here to help with that. And another thing that I wanted to do was probably save on the glowstone and put half slabs in between like that, which I could actually just have full blocks because the glowstone would provide enough light that mobs wouldn't spawn on it anyway. But something like that is what I want to do. So are there any other things I haven't really thought about or explained? The redstone's really simple. The reason that we have these pistons is because originally I was thinking you grow the tree slightly higher, and now that I look back on this I don't think it's really that important to have this. So they're like that, but my initial thinking is that when you pull this, all of the saplings drop out of the ground. But the same thing happens when you blow over them with water, so I don't know what I was thinking there, and I'm starting to think that having those piston extenders extenders isn't a really great idea. So what we might actually do is just grow the trees at the lower height, and if we do that, what it does mean is that we can have rows of dirt like this. Now you need it every 2 blocks apart for the spruce and birch wood, because if you try and grow them any closer together they won't grow with bone meal or naturally as well. But with the jungle ones and these ones as well, the oak ones, you can actually grow them in a line like this. So it means we can change it for each lane depending on what type of tree we're farming. Now I know with oak, to get enough saplings back you actually need to have it like this, otherwise you won't get enough saplings in return to replant. So we can configure each of these differently, I guess, for each stream if we get rid of the pistons, which is something I think I'm going to do. I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to finalise the design though. There may be 1 or 2 other things that I've overlooked. But the other change that I wanted to make on the Hermitcraft server is this is roughly the same size as the area that I've cleared out, and when I built it like this I wasn't really thinking about it too much, and I was thinking that I wanted to change it and make it so this would be the front, which I think is a much better idea. So everything that you've seen from the side there is actually going to run forward in this direction, and I opened it up in MC Edit. The width of this is about 60 blocks. Actually I think it's more like 80. So we're going to downsize it a little bit to make it around 60 blocks, and we're just going to have 4 lanes. So I think I decided that the lane would end, the lane was going to end over here. So you would have your dispensers at one end like this, and then you would have a row of hoppers with tree spaces on either side, and then they would be dedicated to one type of tree. So that means we would have 4 lanes in total, so that would be the 3rd, and then over here the 4th, meaning the other end of it would be somewhere around here, and then that would become the width like that, and then it would go a lot further backwards, about the length of this, which I think is 120 blocks. So I'm going to finalise my design. I'll probably do some MC editing and make sure we have a copy of it in creative mode, so then we can look all the materials that we're going to need to build it. Okay, so this is going to be what I think is the final design, what I'm going to build on Hermitcraft. So what we've done is we've made this thing 4 wide, so there's 4 lots of chests and hoppers, and we've sorted out the glowstone on top. It now goes above these as well, so the block light level there is correct. Now I do think you can actually place these 1 block lower, but if I remember correctly that's only for oak and jungle trees but not for spruce and birch, so we're going to leave them at that height, and they still provide enough light that no mobs will spawn on either of these. Now for the hoppers, I realised that mobs would be able to spawn on them as well, so what I did is I took them down by 1 block and then put half slabs on top. So if I chuck an item like that on top, you can see that it still gets picked up, so that way no mobs are able to spawn here but we still pick up all of the items. And the last change that I made, you can see here I've removed all of the sticky pistons. That was going to make this thing really expensive, and I didn't think it was that necessary after giving it some more thought. So we're going to do it like this now. So the whole thing is going to take 210 dispensers, which is a lot. It doesn't cost a lot, but it takes a long time to craft because you've got to make all of those bows and they don't stack. As well as that, we need 205 repeaters and 504 hoppers. So a lot of materials is going to go into this, and of course the biggest one of all is ice, which I forgot to note down, but I think it's about 100 stacks of ice that go into this. So it's going to be pretty crazy to build. There's a lot of glowstone as well. I didn't take note of that either. In fact, I'm just going to find out how much of those we actually need. So we need 5,848 ice, so just under 100 stacks, which I actually have. Ice is pretty easy to get once you've got a silk touch pick and an ice tray. And then we need 512 glowstone as well. So a lot of materials is going to go into this. It's going to take me a hell of a long time. So I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. It's been quite some time since I've done one of those. However, the next one that I do I think is going to be construction or something like that, because all that crafting was a little bit boring. I don't know, I found that stuff interesting though. So anyway, here are the materials that I was crafting. We still need 2 double chests of ice to build this and some redstone and glowstone as well, but other than that, that is pretty much everything we need to build this. So what I decided to do next was flatten out the area of land that we're going to build this on. I'd already started doing this, however it needed to be a bit more precise. So I put down some markers for where either end of the farm is going to be. So that'll be the width. We'll have the 4 different rows and it'll go off in that direction. And I thought I'd lay everything down with grass, so I got rid of stone and things like that are around here. So whenever you look underneath the ice, because you're going to be able to see through it, you're just going to see glass below. But after building this, I realised that I've kind of gone closer to this side over here than I have this edge of the area that I cleared out. You can see that redstone block is a lot further away. And then I started to think, well, you need the saplings to be loaded for them to have a chance to grow. So the closer they are to spawn, the more chance they have of growing. So I think what I might do is actually move this over maybe 16 or so blocks, or maybe put the end over there on the edge of a chunk border. So that means that this is all closer to spawn, even if ever so slightly, and then it has more chance of the saplings actually growing. And you know, I don't think it's going to be too much more work because all of this over here is fairly flat. I've just got to add some more dirt over here, remove some more over there, and then I think this will be ready for construction. So the foundations for the tree farm are now in place. This did take a bit of time to do, but it was quite enjoyable to build. I got into a good rhythm, and it hasn't been laid out fully. You can see the back end's kind of early. There's probably about another 40% to go in that direction, so I kind of cut it short. I thought I'd just build this for now and extend it later on because it is taking some time to do. But we do have all 4 lanes in place, and this thing is looking mighty cool at the moment. It's going to look a bit of a strange structure because it's not going to have a roof or anything to it, but that's something we possibly could do over time. And also I moved this over so the back of it is on the edge of a chunk, so it's pretty much as close to this area as it can be, which is cool. And now I need to go back up here. Let's grab this sand so we can jump up to the top. So building it was pretty cool actually. I got into a really cool rhythm of placing down these blocks here. So I'd run in one direction, and what I'd do is I would hold down forward, then I would jump and right click and I'd land on top of the block I was placing. So I got into this nice rhythm of hitting spacebar and right click, and when I got to the end I'd just turn around and do the same thing again for the dispensers. So it was like 1 trip up and 1 trip back, and the same thing with the hoppers as well, just placing them, the hoppers, and then coming back and placing all of the stone slabs on top. So it's quite rhythmic and pretty easy to do. So the next thing that I need to do is lay down the redstone that goes underneath, so all of this will be wired up, which shouldn't take too long at all. Again, it's going to be repetitive building, just going up, placing down the repeaters, and then coming back, placing the redstone that's behind it. You could do something like put the redstone and repeaters on like key number 2 and 3 like that, so you could, actually that would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? So you'd hold down forward, 2, 3, I don't think that would work. So we're not going to bother with that. And yeah, and then it's just filling in the ice, which is going to take a very long time because there's tons and tons of it to place, and also I need to get some more, but we do have the ice tray for that, which is pretty cool. And also let's have a look at how this looks, because you can see all of this is now grass. It's all spread while I've been building this, which is cool. And so underneath this is going to be grass. Let's place down a block so I can jump up here. So that's what it's going to look like. And over on the edges here I'm thinking of filling in what's below this with stone bricks, so we're going to need more of those. And actually this really depleted me of all my resources. I've literally got no cobblestone left, which is a little bit crazy, although I do still have plenty of wood, so it's mainly the cobblestone I've been robbed of at the moment. Anyway, I'll continue building. So I've finished building the farm, and then I was just taking a look at the dimensions of it when I noticed this redstone block over here marking the edge and how this goes along a lot further. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5th one. So when I was building this, I don't know what I did, but I managed to build 5 rows and now fallen down instead of 4, which means that I actually have to remove a whole section of this that I've just finished building. Now I was thinking about keeping 5 rows in, but I know it will just annoy me because I want 1 row for each type of tree. So it means we're going to have to cut it off here, and I'm going to go along and remove everything that I've just finished building over here and then move this wall back across. However, I'm still kind of wrestling with the idea of keeping it because all of this space over here is already being cleared out, and so yeah, I'm probably actually going to not do that. I'm going to leave it for now and see what I think about it. But the next thing that I need to do is gather some glowstone, which can be really time consuming. So I think what I'm going to do is take all of the glowstone that I have and put it in position and see how this looks. So the glowstone is in place, and this thing looks really cool now with all this floating glowstone. I imagine this is going to look pretty cool from particular angles, maybe from high up like on the top of there. But yeah, this thing is pretty much finished now. I ripped out the bit at the end, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to do or not. I decided just to get rid of it and just have the 4 lanes. And so now there's nothing really left to do except test this out. Obviously I can expand it in the future because the back isn't finished. But I think the other thing that might need to be done is this front area here. It doesn't feel right just having a flat wall. There definitely needs to be something else going on here. And so what I was thinking I could do is kind of extend this area out and have a sort of entrance area where you've got stairs to get from the chest and then up the top, so you can go and cut down all of the trees. But either way, the next thing that I want to do is plant down the saplings. I've just remembered these don't have buckets in, so I need to make a load of buckets, fill them up with water, and then bring them over here and put them in the dispensers. That is going to take me a fair bit of time to do. So all of the dispensers have been filled with buckets of water. This thing is now ready to work. I've also built a pagoda area over here, as you can see. This is like a raised up little platform that you can come up to get to all the different lanes, and the pagoda is pretty much the same thing I did on Avalon with the animal breeding pens, the first one I ever built. We just got a wooden frame out of fence posts and then loads of random jungle leaves all over it, which I think looks really cool. But despite it being random, I've kind of built it in a box shape. If you look here, the leaf blocks don't come out any further than that, so we kind of need to add a few more on the outside, but it looks really good. And this thing is pretty much finished. There are a couple of changes though that I'm thinking about making. One that I do have to make is this over here. Now when I put the glowstone at this height, I thought it was high enough for the spruce trees to grow and the rest of them could have been 1 block lower, but actually I got it wrong. We've got them at the right height for those trees, but these ones need to be 1 block higher. Now what's really strange is that I was doing this in a test world and I was growing them with bone meal and it was fine, they could grow underneath this height, so not really sure what's going on there, but I have to raise these glowstone blocks up by 1 and then these should start growing. And the other thing that I've been thinking about changing is the position of these dirt blocks, because if we come up here and just have a look for a second, there's not a lot of trees for the amount of space, and I think we could actually put them closer together. Now when we put them closer together, the leaves kind of overlap, so you get less saplings in return. However, you get quite a lot from these types of trees, so I think it's going to be enough to supplement it. But what we could do is, you can see here, these are spaced 2 apart. What I'm thinking we could do with the layout of these is, rather than have one set on each side, what we do is have them here and here. So there's a 2 block gap between them still, and then we double the amount that we have growing in total. So it will be like that, and then like that. So you'd have a 3 block gap between the 2 different tree types, and then a 3 block gap here as well. It should be enough. I'll do some testing though. But one thing I haven't done yet is activate all of the dispensers. So why don't we give that a test? You can see there's a piston here and a redstone block. So when we press the button, it's just going to power the repeater at the bottom, and then it's going to come back up. So let's see that in action. Now we're going to get all of our saplings back. That looks really cool as well. And I've yet to harvest any of these trees. I've just been building all of this. It's taken me quite a long time to do. Let's press this one over here. Felt a bit of lag with that one there. Probably because the water's spreading off in more directions. Now you see this bit here where there's a source block. I do believe that when you throw... Ow. I was under the impression that they would move out ever so slowly onto either side. So we possibly have a little bit of a problem there. I'll have to keep my eye on that and see if any drops ever land on there. But that is the tree farm project pretty much finished for now. As I said, we can expand it in the future. And now that it's night, I should also point out that all the glowstone is covering all of the spawnable areas on here, and on this area as well. There's enough glowstone to make sure that it's all lit. So we don't have to worry about mobs up here. And I think I might tidy up the outside and make it look a little more interesting, because if we just pearl over there, you can see it's just a bland wall at the moment. So there's still more to be done on this project, but for now it's working, and I think that wraps up the episode nicely. So I just want to say, if you want to put a like on the video, friendly reminder and all of that, it is really appreciated if you do. It does make a big difference. And so as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.